Find out which state's unemployment system misallocated $3.8 billion during the pandemic. Where did it go? It's gone. Poof. How labor unions are fighting for more protection and funds for employees across America, more moolah, and the great news of one state matching a historic record, low unemployment rate. I'm talking low, lower than low. I'm waiting for when these go negative. Then somebody's going to have to say, wait a minute, you can't go negative. The great state of Ohio recently had an audit on their state unemployment system. You know what happens in audits? They find out stuff that we don't want to find out typically. Finding that $1 in $4 paid out through the Ohio unemployment system over the last year was a mistake. The audit found that Ohio's unemployment system misallocated $3.8 billion during the pandemic, included massive fraud, billions of distributed to in mistaken payments, and a widespread failure to disclose the extent of the mismanagement. Like, oh man, who's going to tell? I'm not telling Bob. You tell Bob. No, I'm not telling Bob. Bob can just figure it out. Well, Bob apparently did, right? Ohio auditor, actually it was Keith Faber, explained, quote, it's appalling that Ohioans in need were victimized not only by the pandemic that ravaged our economy, but by criminals who took advantage of a system that was outdated, overwhelmed, and ill-prepared for the onslaught of unemployment claims. He continued, the fact that the department neglected to acknowledge its failures until hundreds of millions of dollars in fraud and overpayment had been made, potentially delaying the assistance from eligible and deserving Ohioans, is more than disappointing, end quote. So funny if they'd, spent your money and you're like, hey, I want my money back. It wouldn't be disappointing. It'd be all out ugly. Hopefully the Buckeye State can recover some of these mishandled and stolen unemployment benefits. That would be my hope, so that Ohioans truly deserve that money and disaster relief stimulus funds can gain access to those life-saving government benefits. Can you imagine if you're, Jane, and she's like, hey, I got a tax thing that says I got 20 grand, but I didn't get it. Yep, somebody else got it. And now you got to work through explaining that you didn't get it. Meanwhile, because we know, Kim Kardashian, somebody used her name and her social. So that's just to give you an idea how crazy it is, where even she's like, wait a minute, I'm in the news getting unemployment? That wasn't me. Meanwhile, labor union that fought for employee rights are making a push to add worker protection to President Biden's vaccine mandate. The AFL and CIO and about two dozen other major union representatives, teachers, service employees, meat processing plants, I can say that, auto and steel workers had a virtual meeting this month with President Biden, keep those COVID numbers down, and are pushing his administration to expand its vaccine mandate for private companies to include additional protection for workers. I know there's a lot of controversy over this. This is why we don't take a stance. It's your choice. It is whatever you think is on you. So we're neutral here. We don't pick a party. We don't, everybody's bad in our party, whether it's Republican or Democrat, they all have their problems. That's how we look at it. All thing I care about is you. This includes mask requirements that were safety issues to minimize the spread, to keep businesses open and safe, working across America. That's what their push is. Rebecca Rindell, who represents the AFL and CIO on a call, stated, quote, we stress the importance of mitigating measures. We really need to get ahead of the transmission piece of the virus. It takes a while to get vaccinated. We need protection in the meantime, end quote. Talking about masks, right? It's great to see political leaders fight for our employee rights because, we got to protect everybody, especially as the weather starts to drop and the spread of the Delta variant is more likely to rise as we get closer to the end of 2021. It is cold season, right? Finally, the amazing country or county of Spokane country. It's a small country. In the great state of Washington, made news recently due to the unemployment rate dropping so low that it tied a historical record low. Spokane County unemployment rate dropped in September to match the historic low of 3.5% as the region continues to recover jobs lost since the pandemic onset in 2020. Doug Tweedy, a regional economist for the Washington State Unemployment Security Department, he explained, quote, "We lost 26,000 jobs in April of 2020 with the first stay-at-home order. Just about every month since then, we've seen a job increase. Over half of the jobs were considered essential. And we are a regional hub. Those two things have put Spokane in a good position," end quote. It's all about location, right? Location. It's for one of the first steps in business. It's great to see unemployment rates across America plunging downward, and it's great to report somebody who's had record lows right after a crazy year, right? And to be sure, let me know down below in the comments in your state what you're seeing, what significant decreases or even increases, let's just be real, in unemployment rates and why. I love your comments. Literally, they're amazing. Some are mean, but hey, it is what it is. It's a free country. At least that's what I've been told. If you still haven't applied for the unemployment assistance, get a head start on the weekend. It's Friday. In most states, well, all states, you can still get your 26 or 27 weeks if you're unemployed for the right reasons. You can still claim that state unemployment benefit by visiting the UI website. You can also, if it's regular unemployment, you can reach back and get the weeks that you missed out on still. That window is still open. Just fill out the application as genuinely. No, you shouldn't do it generally. Genuinely as possible. Just tell the truth and, fill out the application. They're not trying to trick you. At least they shouldn't be. You could receive a backdated check for those weeks you missed if you used your savings, or if you need money going into the future. I know it's not a lot, especially since the federal benefit is gone. The whole unemployment is still there. And yeah, the systems are still old, but they're still working through claims. If you're a PUA, well, right now they're not handing out the federal extended enhanced disaster relief unemployment benefit. Hopefully, though, we'll see that great program once again. AOC, Bush, and even Biden, they're talking in a very positive way. The gig workers, self-employed, independent contractors, 1099s, people with side hustle and volunteers, lots of YouTubers, and lots of people that make their money and are 1099 people. So it's only reasonable that as we've transitioned into this new way of working, we have a different way that people get paid in a lot of ways. And we need programs to support everybody, no matter how they choose to work. Some people don't want a W-2. Are we going to force them? And if they do get a 1099, they're responsible for taking care of their stuff. Why shouldn't we take care of them when they're out of work? Because they still worked. Please keep sharing your UI and unemployment benefit in your state. Please stay safe up there. And you're probably saying, well, how do we pay for it? Well, maybe they'll have to contribute to it, so that everybody wins. Thank you for watching.